I don't know where I put Turtok actually. I think it's like probably C. There's not much to it. I feel like that's a C. Honestly, this whole actually this whole line except for Torterra is a C. Torterra gets a B. I like it. I used to dislike the Infernape plane, now I quite like it. It's still not my favourite starter of this region, but it's pretty solid. Piplup is my favourite though. Piplup gets an A, Prinplup gets a B because the design's not that interesting, but Empoleon also gets an A. Starly is C. It's fine. It's one of my preferred regional birds, not much to say about it. This entire line gets a C. Staraptor is kind of cool, but there's something about the plume on its head that just looks a little goofy. I feel like Bidoof gets a lot of unnecessary love. I don't really see the appeal. It's a C. Same with Boobarel. Kricketot is nice. Kricketot gets a B. Its design is a bit more inspired than most of the other regional bugs. It's based on a violin, cello, something like that. I don't know. Same as Kricketot. Cricketune. Yeah, Cricketune is the big one. But yeah, these are quite cool designs. Shinx. It's cute. But it's the C. Yeah, Luxray is C as well. I feel like the blue in its design is a little off-putting. It's based on like X-rays and stuff, and I guess blue doesn't really link to that though. Yeah, I didn't love blue, but it is still quite a cool design. So it doesn't get below C. But do you? It's cute, I guess. C. Oh, Roserade, I love Roserade. That's an A. It's so cool. Its shiny is really good as well because its flowers go like black and purple. I don't really like Chronodos. Its stats are pretty awful. Yes, it's D. Same as Rampardos. Shieldon. These designs are kind of worse, I'm gonna be honest. These might get an E. A lot of the fossil Pokemon don't really look that good. Like, there are some exceptions later on, but there are a lot of fossil Pokemon on here. Burmy. I can't think of a reason to put these in anything other than C. Mothim. Mothim's actually got quite a cool design. I'm just looking at this now. I always forget about this Pokemon. Honestly, B. I love the colours here. I like him. He's quite cute. B. B for B. Vespiquen is really cool. This is an A. I really like this design. The colours are great again, and just how intimidating it looks is really nice. Pachirisu is kind of infamous for sparking the whole a good trainer wins with their favourites or whatever. It's kind of iconic. I do like his design. It's quite cute. It's a Pika clone, so it's not going to be terribly interesting, but this is maybe my favourite Pika clone. But, no, Mimiky's my favourite, if that counts. It does count, yeah. Yeah, Mimiky's my favourite. But this one's still B. It's nice. Buizel and Floatzel. They're kind of basic designs. I'll give them a C. Got kind of nice colour palettes. I wish blue was a bit more pronounced. Cherubi and Cherim. Kind of basic again. They're fine. C. Shellos and Gastrodon, I love these guys. Shellos gets a B, Gastrodon gets an A. They're just funny. There's not much else to say about them. They've been decent competitively as well. Water Ground is pretty good typing. Only weakness is Grass. Storm Drain is a very good ability. It redirects all the water moves to itself and then gives it a special attack boost because of it. I feel like it could have been a bit more interesting. I think it is quite a good design. I like the tail hand concept. Yeah, gets a B. It does do something with the concept, and I think it's quite cool. The colour palette is alright. The orange and the purple isn't great. but it's not awful to look at. Drifloon gets a B because it's actually got a very cool design. I like the colour palette here, and the concept of it, like luring people in and then carrying them away, is quite interesting. Drifblim is a really nice design. This gets an A. The red eyes are kind of sinister as well, which is good because I feel like this is one of those Pokemon that benefits from having a design that's appealing but also a little sinister. Baneri. It's kind of cute. C. Not loads here. Well, funny. C as well. Megalopony is really cool. This might get an A. A or B. It's so fun to use competitively. It runs like Fake Out, Quick Attack, Return, Close Combat. You can swap out your U-turn for Return sometimes though. And what that means is it basically has a 120 base power guaranteed combo every time it switches in, because of the flinch from Fake Out and then Quick Attack priority. So it can just do that, switch in, switch out. And it's also got decent bulk, so it doesn't matter if it switches in and out constantly. But yeah, this is a really cool design as well. I like the kind of like butterfly pattern on its forehead. That's cool. A Mismagius, okay. Yeah. I think we know where this is going. I don't think I need to speak too much about this. But no, seriously, it's just such a good design. The colour palette is amazing here. The purple and pink works so well together. And just the concept of like a banshee witch thing, it's great. Yeah, it goes top Festo. It's my favourite Pokemon, if you hadn't guessed already. Honchkrow is good, B. The colour palette is quite nice. It's counterpart to Mismagius as well. They're both evolutions of Gen 2 Pokemon and evolve for the Dusk Zone. Yeah, I like this. Its concept of like a mob boss is quite cool. It's not something that you see in many designs. It pulls off that well. I like Honchkrow. It's not as fun to use competitively, but that's fine. Glameow, I don't really like this, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like when they use like blue too much in designs. Like you can even see that here, there's a lot of like that weird blue-grey colour in here. I don't find that it works very well as like a body for Pokemon. Same with Purugly. Chingling. I like this. Let's switch it a bit. Yeah, I like it. Chimeco's quite cool, but this is a nice... Is it a baby or a pre-evolution? I think it's a baby. C2. Stunky. It's kind of cool. I don't love this. It's a skunk, so it's not really going to be that appealing, but... C2. I don't hate it, but... Same with Skuntank. Actually no, Skuntank goes in detail. I don't like his face. Bronzor I do like. Actually, do I? Bronzor gets a C tier. The blue colour works well here because it's actually made of metal. So that fits, whereas like with Glameow and Purugly, it's meant to be like fur, which doesn't really work as well. Bronzong though gets a B tier. This is quite cool. The bell design is quite nice. Steel Psychic is also quite cool typing, though we don't see very often. Bonsai. I never really liked Sudowoodo that much, but this is actually quite a cute pre-over, or baby, I think it's baby. Yeah, let's get some beta. I quite like this. Mime Jr. I don't like this. Actually, I don't hate it as much as I hate Mr. Mime, because Mr. Mime's all here. But this still gets a D tier. It's just a bit creepy, but I feel like the creepiness kind of fits a bit better here. Like the black eyes kind of give it a more sinister feel, but it feels intentionally sinister rather than accidentally, like Mr. Mime. And it has less of that weird, like, fleshy blobs on its skin that Mr. Mime has. Also, it just fits better in a smaller design that doesn't look so much like a human. Actually, maybe it's a C. I don't think it's actually that bad at all. Happiny. C tier. Chansey's the worst one. Blissy's kind of nice though, I kind of like Blissey. But Happy's kind of middle of the road. Chatot. It's an interesting concept. I think his whole thing was that you could like input any voice to use as its cry, but I think that got banned in competitive because, yeah, it's not a great idea to have it being that open. It's an interesting concept. This might get B because of that. The colour palette is quite nice as well. Again, blue works here because it's feathers rather than actual just skin. Ooh, Spiritomb is a really cool design. Let's get some B. Maybe an A. No, B. The colour palette is nice. It's very Halloween-y with the purple and the green. Its unlock method is interesting as well. I don't know exactly how you unlock it in Diamond and Pearl, but in Legends Arceus you have to find all the wisps. And then Sword and Shield, I think you have to like talk to 108 people via the online thingy. It is an A though, just because of that. Like it is very, it almost feels like a mythical, even though it isn't. Gibble. I don't love Gibble. It gets a C tier because it is quite cute actually. It is quite cute. I love the little teeth it has. Gabite is a bit middle of the road. Maybe D tier, maybe C. I'm not sure. I'm going to put in D tier for now, I might change my mind. Garchomp though, Garchomp is really cool. I like this. It just has a really cool silhouette, like the spiky edges and stuff. Make it really intimidating. The colour palette could be a bit better, I think, but it is still visually pleasing to look at. It's obviously been a staple of competitive ever since it was released. Dragon Ground is good defensive typing. Rough Skin is a really good ability. It can run a lot of different sets. It can run Sword Stance, it can run like spikes, it can run a bunch of things. Its Mega, I think, is a bit... I don't love its Mega as much. Its Mega is a C tier. I feel like it does improve on the colour palette a bit though. The red is more pronounced, I do like that. But the head is a bit less... The design silhouette is just a bit less visually appealing, I think. It still gets to see this, it's not bad. Munchlax is quite cute. Munchlax gets a C? Yeah. It's a good pre-evolution Snorlax, but not much else. Rio's okay. Lucario's cool though. I feel like that's just... All of the babies I think just could be better. They're not terribly interesting. Lucario is quite cool though. Actually no, base Lucario gets a C. Mega Lucario gets a B. Base Lucario, its colour palette isn't great. It's still cool, like the concept of aura is cool. I feel like this is a drastically overrated Pokemon. But it's kind of cool, but it's not great. Hippowdon, yeah. It just looks a bit... It looks kind of ill. I don't like the red eyes, it looks like... the holes in its body are a bit weird as well. Hippopotas does have that on its nostrils, but those are a bit less weird than whatever this is. I don't love this design. Scorpy is C, it's fine. Drapion I don't really like as much, but Scorpy is fine. Colour palette's not great, but that doesn't really matter. But yeah, Drapion I don't love. The colour palette is better here, I do prefer the purple. But it's like... I don't really understand this Pokemon. It's not really a Scorpion anymore. Like, it has really big arms for some reason, but its tail is a bit less pronounced. Yeah, it's a weird design choice they took with this. It just looks really weird. The Krogan is fine. C tier, I think. It's got nice colours. Togekiss is actually a B tier. I do like this design. Its stance is quite cool. It does the frog thing quite well, actually. Like, I wouldn't expect that they'll be able to make a frog look intimidating, but they did. Carnivine is cool. It gets Levitate, which is kind of useless because it resists ground already. Especially when it could have a more interesting ability, because its only ability is Levitate. Where did I put it? Here it is. It's got a very scary, but not too scary design. Its inspiration is cool, Venus Flytrap. Yeah, it's quite sinister, but it is also very cool looking. Ooh, Finneon and Luminion, these both get an A. The colour palettes here are great. The blue and the pink really go well together. And also the concept of like a fish that mimics a butterfly is cool. And there's a lot of bug type moves as a result. Also there's a lot of flying moves. I could even see like a mega of this that gets the bug type instead. Or like on top of water, I mean. Mantike. It's cute. I prefer Mantine's design. This actually, this is beta. It's probably the best baby, I think. Yeah. Snova. It's got a weird design, I think. The shape, like, I think that a Pokemon's shape has a lot to do with whether I like them or not. Because, like, there are a lot of Pokemon with very aesthetically pleasing shapes, like Miss Magius, for example, like, its silhouette just looks great. Abomasnow is a little bit better. It looks a bit cooler, more intimidating. I drank this C, only because it's marginally better than the Snova. But it's still not an amazing design. It's Mega. I always used to think it was a bit goofy, with like the X shape it makes, but it is actually quite cool. I still put it in C, I think, because it doesn't have... It's not terribly interesting, but it's definitely more intimidating than base Abomasnow. Weavile is a great design. This used to be my favourite Pokemon for like a good few years. And its colour palette is great. It's not quite S because it's... I think that the Ice type could be a bit pronounced in its design. I think that this should get a Mega in Legends EA. Megatone is very cool. I like this. I didn't actually used to like this, but it's just got a kind of very like retro futuristic look, which we don't see often in Pokemon, I don't think. Like the only other example is like Deoxys. But it's quite a unique design. I like it. Lickilicky. I actually do like this. The colours are nice. I think that like the leaked beta version of Lickilicky looked a lot cooler, to be honest. But this still gets a beta. There's something about it. I don't know, like the round body is very cute as well. I like it. Rhyperior, I didn't used to like, but now it gets a C. It's very intimidating. But it actually does improve a lot on base Rhydon and Rhyhorn and Rhydon? Yeah, Rhyhorn and Rhydon's designs. Because I don't think those are that great, but I do think that Rhyperior is quite a nice design. The holes in its hands are a little off-putting, but apart from that it's quite nice. Tangrowth. I do like this, but it gets a C. Yeah, I like this. Electivire. The little wires coming out of it, like its back are quite cool. It's a bit of a weird... I'm not sure what it's meant to be based on exactly. It looks kind of like a bear-ish thing. C tier though, it's not bad. Same with Magmortar. Actually, no, I used to think that Magmortar's design looked a little like clownish and a bit goofy, but I don't think it looks like that. I think it's quite... It's still quite intimidating, like the rocket hands thing. I like that. Also the flame pattern on its like its chest is cool. Togekiss. I do like Togekiss. This gets a B. It's just got a very happy, cheerful design, which is nice. Yanmega is a really cool mon. This gets an A. Dragonflies are like my second favourite animal, maybe. Yeah. And the colour palette of this is great. Obviously, yeah, it could have been Bug Dragon, I think, but Bug Flying is still quite cool typing. Leafeon. I think both Leafeon and Glaceon both get a B. They're a lot more interesting than a lot of the other evolutions because they came later. Where did I put this? I lost it again. Here it is. But yeah, like, the early evolutions like Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, I don't like as much. I still like them, but I don't like them as much because they're just a little boring compared to the other ones. But these ones are, they do a bit more to the design. They just look more visually appealing. And I think that's just a result of like, the design is having more experience now. Gliscor, I do really like Gliscor. A lot of people hate this thing because of how good it is competitively. Like, this thing's move pool is crazy. It actually lost, I think it was like Defog and Roost there lost in Gen 9, but even like having those in the first place is insane, and it's still really good now. It probably would have been banned if Kyurem was actually banned and it didn't come back. Does it get an A? It might get an A actually, yeah. A lot of people hate this, but I like it for the exact same reason. It's just so fun to use competitively. Mamoswine. I used to like Mamoswine a lot. It was on my original Sword and Shield team, which was the first Pokemon game I ever played. I think this is actually what I beat Leon with. But now it doesn't get a D-tier, it gets a B-tier. It's C-tier, I mean. Yeah, I actually prefer the rest of the line over this, like Swinub and Piloswine both look a bit cuter, I guess, and a bit more appealing. This looks a little weird with like the pig snout is more pronounced. It's got like snow goggles around its eyes, which is quite cool, but it doesn't get a B-tier, I don't think. Porygon Z is actually a really cool design. I used to dislike this, along with the rest of the Porygon line, because I thought I didn't actually used to like its color palette, but now I appreciate it a lot more. The idea that it's like a corrupted version of Porygon 2 is cool. Adaptability is a cool ability. Yeah, I like this. Gallade. Base Gallade gets a B, because I think that the like big white thing around its waist is a bit weird. But the design is cool. It's got a cool silhouette. I like the sword arms. The way that the legs are kind of drawn is nice. The colours are quite nice as well, same with the rest of the line. Oops, I meant to put them B. I don't like Gardevoir as much as I like this. I think Gardevoir looks a little plain. This looks a lot cooler. Its Mega though. Its Mega though is really good. Gardevoir's Mega is a little bit boring and doesn't really do too much to the design. This improves vastly on it. This might even get an S, honestly. This is like one of my favourite Megas. The cape looks really cool, and it just gives the design a lot more movement and like, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it just makes it look a lot cooler. Oh, Probopass I hate. This is actually close to being in the Hitmonlee tier. This is my second to least favourite Pokemon. Because it just looks awful. It just looks really like pained and stressed all the time, which just makes me sad. The colour palette is actually alright, but it just gets ruined by like the why did they have to give it a moustache? Why did they do that? Dusknoir though, let's change that. The Dusknoir is good. Let's go speed tier. It's very intimidating. The colour palette is actually, I don't love the colour palette, but it makes up for that with its design being cool. The mouth on its chest is quite cool. The big hands actually work quite well here. Yeah, I like this. Frostlass is quite cool. I didn't like Glalie very much, but Frostlass does improve on that. C-tier. Its inspiration is quite cool. I don't remember exactly what it's based on, but it is based on like a folklore thing, I think. Yeah, its backstory is quite cool as well. Yeah, I like this. It has that kind of sinister vibe, but also being cool at the same time. Rotom. Base Rotom I think is like, I'm tempted to put in D-tier because it's kind of annoying how like often you hear the cry, because like the Rotom phones and Rotom decks and stuff. I've heard this thing's cry so much. But I'll give it C-tier. It does have, actually B-tier. It's got an interesting design. It's Poltergeist. Yeah, I like this. Then its forms. Do I rank these separately? I think I will. Yeah. Rotom Heat is... Actually, these all go in A. I think, yeah. These all go in A. They're really creative designs. A lot of people don't like them because they're kind of just objects, but I like them for the same reason. Like, they turn everyday objects into actual interesting design. I like them. I love the Lake Trio, actually. These are all A tier, maybe? I love that they all represent, like, different things of, like, humanity. Like, Uxie is knowledge, Mesprit is emotion, and Azelf is willpower. I use an Azelf on... I know I'm not ranking Azelf right now, but I use an Azelf on my Sword and Shield team, I think, from the Crown Tundra. Like, most recent playthrough, not the original one. But these three are really interesting. I think they deserve more love, because they have very cool designs. Dialga, base Dialga and Palkia get, like, a B. I like legendaries that are kind of just concepts, rather than being, like, concrete Pokemon. It's like the embodiment of time, which is quite cool. Steel is a weird typing, I wouldn't expect them to do that, but I like that they chose to not do, like, really obvious secondary typings with here, like, just do, like, Dragon Psychic or something. I like that they actually did do something a bit different. Yeah, they're very cool. I also like legendaries that aren't just, like, oppositions to each other necessarily. Like, they actually do work together. These origin forms are really nice. These both go in S tier, I think. Like, these are massive upgrades. They both mimic Arceus with, like, the cross thing around its, like, abdomen. And then the really long legs, they look a little bit goofy in a way, but they're still so cool. And, like, having Palkia be, like, a centaur is such a weird design choice, but I'm so glad they went with it because it looks so good. Heatran. Okay, the thing with Heatran is its design is a little bit not that intimidating. It's obviously got a very good competitive presence. It's been OU in, like, basically every generation since it released, I think. But okay, I'll give it C tier because I don't love its design. I like it competitively, but I don't love its space design. I think it's meant to be based on a frog, which I don't think massively fits, but yeah. Regigigas, I like this. I think I prefer the original members of the Rito Trio, which I think I put in A, but Regigigas gets a B. Its colour palette is interesting, it uses a lot of colours, which I think actually does fit with, like, its almost, like, primal feeling. Like, it feels like it's hard to describe, it feels like kind of a culmination of a lot of elements in one design. Yeah, it's a very weird design to look at, but I think that fits with the way it is. It feels very, very alien, and I think that works. Giratina is a very cool design. The base one looks a little bit weird with the legs, but it still gets a B. The origin form, though, gets an A, I think. Cresselia. Cresselia is quite a nice design. Its body looks a little bit weird, like if you take away the rings around it, then its body's kind of just like duck-shaped in a way. It still gets a B though. Fione, I don't know. The problem is I can't really massively tell the difference between it and Manaphy. Fiona has a very big head, and I think that's kind of funny, so I'm gonna put in B. Manaphy also gets B. It gets Tail Glow, I think, I think it was its signature move at the time. Maybe? No, it wasn't, I don't think. I think Ampharos said it too. But it's a very cool move. Boost special attack by 3 stages. Even though it's a bug type move, and I don't know if any bug types even learn it. It seems there are some that do, but there's also a lot of non-bug types that learn it. Anyway, Darkrai. Darkrai is cool. I think that this is kind of overrated slightly. I don't think it's a massively interesting design. It's based on Nightmares, which is cool. The little red thing on like his jaw is a little goofy, but not in like not an over top way, so it gets B. Shaman. Shaman's very cute. Let's get an A. Both forms actually. Gets Serene Grace ability. Very nice. Gets Air Slash too, so it could just spam Air Slash. I'm not sure exactly what it's meant to represent. I think it's like bland. I think something like that. Yeah, I love it though. It's like one of the few hedgehog Pokemon. There aren't actually many of them. It's very cute. It's also got a very nice colour palette. The pink works very well. The sky form is very cool. It doesn't look as hedgehoggy. Well, it's not a hedgehog, it's like a dog thing. But still cool design. I like its big ears. It's a grass flying, it's quite cool typing. Anyway, Arceus, very cool design, S tier. It's like a figment of Arceus, which is cool. It's just got a very cool silhouette, like it's got a lot of like spiky edges, which I think work very well in Pokemon designs a lot of the time. The like ring thing around its abdomen is very cool. The gold and white colour palette is very nice as well. Its whole idea of being able to be any type it wants is very cool. It makes sense as well. It can also learn any TM. Yeah, it's a really good design.